You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging out with you guys, and let's just jump right into it. We're going to do another podcast here talking about lawn care equipment and some of the most ideal setups when it comes to open versus enclosed trailers. So we're going to talk about utility trailers, and we're going to talk about enclosed trailers and help you guys just get the lay of the land. Just help you guys out with maybe some thought process, some ideas that maybe present to you if you're going through that purchasing process here over the next few weeks or months, or, you know, frankly, if you're putting in an order for a trailer and it's going to take literally 6 to 9 months to have those come in. Right now, some of the trailer manufacturers, because of the backlog of COVID, the availability of steel, shutdowns, delays, all that kind of stuff. They're a little delayed, a little behind. We were actually joking with one of my trailer dealers, SureTrack, that we work with, and some of their trailers are literally 6 to 9 months behind. And I was joking with my wife. I said, do you know that you can make a baby in 2020, 2021 faster than you can make a trailer? So we were just having some fun there. But what I wanted to do is do a two-part here. So this is actually part 2. So if you guys happen to be stumbling upon this episode, look one episode behind, and we talked about the best lawnmower setup, where we talked about small mowers for gated backyards. We talked about the large mowers for zero turns and wide open properties. But then what we talked about at length was the most popular setup, which was having a large zero turn mower and a gated backyard mower. So you can have the best of both worlds, taking on small, medium, and large size properties. So on that episode, I talked to you guys about the 1-2 punch. I wanted to talk about all things lawnmowers, because we get that question morning, day, and night from email, Instagram, YouTube comments. But then also the other one is enclosed trailers and utility trailers. And, no lie, they're not a cheap investment. So we're going to break it all down. I want to just give you guys some ideas about accessories, pricing, sizes. Even if you're a veteran in the business, eventually you're going to order that next trailer, every 2 to 5 years. And we want to just present some ideas to you. And so whether this is review or maybe it jogs your memory a little bit, maybe you're going through this process right now and we can, help you save a few bucks or get a couple of accessories that'll, make your life and business that much easier. That's what I want to talk to you guys about here for maybe the next 25 minutes. And we'll just keep this short and sweet and, just give you guys the lay of the land and let you guys know what's up. Speaking of folks that always give the lay of the land and always know what's going on the show, sometimes even more than myself, we've got none other than Marty, Mr. Producer, back in the ATL, that can give us all the highlights, the updates, and all the show announcements for what's going on here at the Fullerton Unfiltered studio. So without further ado, let's kick it over to Marty, and then we're going to come right on back.
It's just about time to start those spring cleanups in many parts of the nation. And now that you've committed to having your own lawn maintenance business, make sure you're ready to increase revenue with Leaf Cleanups. Adding this service is a great way to expand your season and bring in even more revenue for your newly formed business. In this video course, Brian will go over all of the basics to get you up to speed, helping better serve your customers and attract new ones. The Making Money with Spring and Fall Cleanups program walks you through the basic equipment to get the job done. Shows you how to bid, estimate, and determine pricing, and this has always been the biggest mystery about leaf cleanups. This module alone is worth the price. Plus, Brian tackles potential bottlenecks and red flags that can reduce profits and increase headaches. Visit LawnpreneurAcademy.com today to start raking in the profits with the Spring and Fall Cleanups program.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, always appreciate Marty bringing the show announcements, updates, and highlights to you guys Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And in fact, guys, just starting here the first week of March, we're coming back full time. We're coming back Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the regular show, as I know a lot of you guys are going to be just kicking open those doors, getting on out there and, doing spring cleanups, mowing grass. To be honest with you, in the Midwest, we might be plowing snow till April at this rate. But frankly, so could some of you guys in Texas, which is just crazy. So Mother Nature is already having a fit in 2021. And hey, she gets to call the shots more than we do. Amen. So let's do this for a few minutes here. I want to talk about open versus enclosed trailers, or utility versus enclosed trailers. A utility trailer, really simply, that we're going to just be talking about for, the next few minutes here, is just a trailer that has trailer, a mesh trailer, maybe 12 to 18 inch high sides, just a regular standard trailer that you can load a 4-wheeler on, lawnmowers on, a pallet of some materials, a couple yards of mulch, whatever. And they're going to come in varying sizes. We're going to get into it. And then enclosed trailers, as you guys would imagine, are a box trailer, an enclosed trailer. Whether it's a 7x14, a 6x10, 8.5x20, we're going to be comparing and contrasting these two trailer setups. Actually, I did a video probably about a year, maybe 2 years ago now, comparing my trailer and my friend Brandon's trailer, because he had a open 7x14 with high sides, and then obviously I have my red enclosed trailer, and we did a great compare and contrast video. So if you want to check out some of the more visual of the different trailers and trailer setups, check out that video on YouTube. Also, if you guys are on the Brian's Lawn Maintenance YouTube channel, if you ever go into the search bar there, you can search our video library for, enclosed trailer setup or best trailer setup. We do usually a video every year on our enclosed trailer setups, like what mowers we're rocking, what trimmers, what blowers, the trailer racks, how we have things configured, even the truck setup. And those videos are, pretty staple part of YouTube. A lot of folks that have a YouTube channel do those videos every year. I actually didn't do it, the last year, maybe even 2 years, because I just thought like it was getting a little redundant. And, when you do these videos, you're not trying to brag by any means. It's just trying to inspire the next guy. But ever since we kind of, received a little bit of free equipment here and there, some folks were like, oh, that's not even like your mowers. You're not even buying them. Yeah, I know. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? Okay. Like, thank God for some of the partnerships and for all of you guys that, cheer us on and clap and applaud us for, having some success. We appreciate it. And so, you know what? I said, screw that. We're going to do some stuff this spring. A lot of you guys want to see the new mowers, the new trailer setups, all this stuff. And hopefully the people that watch know that we're not bragging by any means. Not that we have anything to brag about. We just have a decent little setup and we're really excited about it. So I am going to do a video this spring talking about our enclosed trailer setup because we do have a lot of new equipment coming. And frankly, like my business is on the grow. I'm growing it. I'm still growing it. I love, cutting grass and running our lawn and landscape business. And to be frank with you, I can't wait to, get out there over the next 6-8 weeks and start cutting that grass and making that cash, as our friend Paul Jamison says. So here's what I want to do is just talk about a couple of the pros and cons, a couple of the topics. Number one, let's just jump right into it. The elephant in the room the most when it comes to talking trailers about comparing and contrasting. And by the way, there's no total right or wrong answer. That's the biggest thing I want to have you guys derive from this whole conversation over the next half hour is that there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to which trailer to go with. Some of them have pros, some of them have cons. The pros for the cons, or the cons are the pros for the other trailer, right? So number one, when most people are looking to evaluate upgrading a trailer, the elephant in the room is security, right? So a lot of folks, the reason they go with an enclosed trailer is the fact that every night you don't have to, quote unquote, bring your stuff inside the shed, the garage, whatever. You don't have to store it. Versus inside an enclosed trailer, obviously you just close up the ramps, lock the RV door, lock the back trailer ramp door, and you're good to go. And frankly, that was one of the biggest reasons I was looking to upgrade my enclosed trailer setup or my utility trailer setup to an enclosed trailer was to have the extra security. Like I said, I lived in my mom's trailer, trailer park for the first decade of my career until I met Liz and, we got engaged, married, moved in together, all that mess. But every day for 10 years, I had to unrack all my equipment from the gas cans to the push mower because somebody could lift up a push mower. We never had to take the lawn mower inside the shed, thankfully, because it weighs 800 pounds. But I feel the pain if you guys are unracking all your trimmers, all your edgers, your blowers, and having to store those inside your garage or shed. And guys, here's what I'll tell you: make no mistake about it. Somebody's watching your stuff. Whether you think somebody's watching it or not watching it, like somebody's already profiled you, somebody's already scoped it out. And I really, really implore you guys to get some locks. Whether you get the Equipment Defender racks, little plug for those guys. They are a Brian's 10 partner, and you guys save 10% on all orders through them. And then also Proven Locks. We do these ads for a reason. It's not just to sell you stuff, like by any means. It's to really sincerely help you guys out because the coupler locks for Proven Locks are some of the best locks ever that you can put on your utility or enclosed trailer. It's provenlocks.com, and Brian's 10 partner there saves you 10%. And the reason we grew these affiliate relationships is because I use this stuff myself, and I was like, dude, if we can help some folks save some money and maybe get an affiliate kickback to fund the hobby and bring you guys this kind of content, then awesome. And so that's why we established some of these relationships. But I'll tell you what, there isn't a week. Honestly, I'm being totally sincere and candid right now. There's not a week that goes by where I don't get a DM or an email that somebody had their equipment stolen. right? It's really sad when those emails come in or those DMs come in, because one out of every two, or half of them, if you will, have a GoFundMe attached to them. And it's like, and I've seen it from 15-year-old kids to 35-year-old grown adults. You know, hey, I had my trimmer just yanked right off my trailer. I had my backpack blower, you know, in the bed of my truck, and, you know, I went inside the Home Depot to just, I don't know, go get something. And it came back out and my, you know, BR800 was stolen, and I just bought it a month before or a week before. I've heard all those stories. I see them every freaking week because of just the size of our social media. Like, people email me or DM me, and to be frankly, I feel so bad for them. Obviously, I can't just buy somebody a trimmer every time or send $100 every time. That, you know, I'd go broke doing that. As much as I'm a giver, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm really sorry. Like, get some racks, you know, in the future, and you know, get a coupler lock. I mean, Keith Kalfas had his trailer entirely swiped 3 years ago, and the whole lawn care community actually came together and gave him, I think it was like $1,500 or $2,000 for free tools. And Keith won't tell you guys this story. He's told me it, but he actually took that money and gave it away. He gave it to a local church because he didn't feel comfortable taking it, because, like, he's got a little bit bigger YouTube channel and, you know, makes a couple bucks with his social media. But he was like, I've never had like this much charity and like giving, you know, to him. And the lawn care community just pulled together. It was really, really, you know, special little thing 2 years ago, 3 years ago. But he was like, I felt kind of guilty taking the money. And so he, you know, what are you going to do? So he accepted it, because that's probably what I would have done. But he just gave it right to a local church, and he didn't ask anybody to, you know, to know about it or talk about it. But that's the kind of people in the lawn care community. Some of these other YouTube folks, man, they're good people. Well, to go full circle, please don't be that guy. I sincerely don't want you guys to send me an email or send me a DM or of your buddy. Usually it's like your buddy that had something yanked off the trailer. So number one, take trailer security serious, right? If you got a little single axle trailer, Proven Lock has this like crowbar thing that goes through the wheel that can lock the wheel so it doesn't, you know, spin. They have coupler locks, you know, like I said, Equipment Defender or Green Touch. You can get Green Touch through Ballard Inc. and Brian's 10 saves 10% there. So we got you covered on both ends. Whether you want black racks or green racks, right? I don't frankly care. I think the Equipment Defender ones, to be transparent, are a little bit better quality. But, you know, at the end of the day, just get some freaking trailer racks, not the ones that just clip on, you know, in a little bungee cord or a little lock, you know, that you get from Lowe's or Home Depot or maybe your local dealer. Like, get good equipment. And so that's usually the reason most people look at utility trailers versus enclosed trailers, right? And that was my story. Like I said, for a decade, I had to bring in my trimmer every freaking night, my edgers every night, and they would just get also sun faded and sun beaten. You know, in Michigan, we don't have the most sunny days, but I would imagine down in Florida, Carolinas, Texas, like 80, 90, 100 degree heat and humidity all day long. You know, just baking on those trailers and breaking on those that equipment, you're gonna get a lot of sun fade, and you know your equipment just kind of deteriorates, and the plastic gets more brittle. And then outside of that, of course, you know, when it just gets poured on rain, that's always fun. I had to have been 100 different times where we got just thunderstorm poured on, and I would be, you know, zipping my trailer back home to my mom's and backing it in and just being like, all right, well, I guess we're done for the morning. And then it would be 2 hours later, the rain kind of dries up, because we just had a quick rainstorm go through. But all the equipment was just soaking wet, dude. All the trimmers were wet, the backpack blower padding and the arm straps, the shoulder straps, those were wet. The seat on my lawnmower, I didn't have the cool Exmark seat that like drained, you know, or anything like that. Mine was just like the solid foam one on my first mower, and it always held water, and it was always just full of water, and it sucked, to be honest with you. And then all the grass was just wet. So utility trailers versus enclosed trailers. A lot of the reason people get those is just to protect their equipment and to keep it secure. Now, to go full circle, the other elephant in the room is that a utility trailer is going to be a fraction of the price, right? That's usually the next one we'll talk about. A good utility trailer is going to be anywhere from $1,000 to $2,800 plus or minus. And then an enclosed trailer is going to start at, you know, $2,500 to $4,000. And most of them, though, are going to be between $5,000 and $7,000. But it really can go up from there to $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 for some of the larger enclosed trailers. So number two, let's talk about pricing. And just to give the lay of the land, maybe you guys are trying to decide what's your first trailer. Well, you know, if you can't drop let's say you got a $5,000 or $10,000 budget, and a lot of that's going to the mower, the hand tools, and you're like, well, I only got $2,000 left. Well, then, get a utility trailer. Here's what I would say. I got started, my first trailer was a little 5x8 utility trailer from Tractor Supply. It was a solid little trailer. Like, as dorky as it kind of looked and as remedial as my little setup was, whatever, dude. I was in business. I was excited about it. I didn't think twice. I didn't think I was a dork or a loser. And not that you are if you have a little trailer like that by any means. So don't just write off the little Tractor Supply trailer. People like on Facebook might give you crap, but those people don't have your best interest in mind anyway. It's just a measuring contest. So who cares what they think? The reality is that little 5x8 utility trailer, that bridged the gap for me for 3 years until I was able to save enough money to go get my next utility trailer, which was a 6.5x12. Now, I love that trailer, and I also made a huge mistake getting that trailer. Let me explain why. That trailer, I think back then was, I should have looked it up. Maybe like a couple grand, $2,000. And it was a great trailer, solid build quality. Look for tube top, 2-inch tube top all the way around versus just angle iron. Look for, I forget what they call it, like an A-frame or a C-frame, whatever has the trailer that triangles with the tongue, but it also has the third beam going down the middle. I always get that mixed up if that's an A-frame or a C-frame. But that extra rigidity going down the middle of a utility trailer is clutch. You want to look for that. So when you got that third beam going down the middle, and then you also have that 2-inch tube top all the way around, that's going to be a very robust trailer. And as you can imagine, that's going to take that trailer from $1,200, $1,400, $1,600 to the 2s and low 3s, right? So, but you get what you pay for. So think about that when you're looking at trailers, including tires. Tires are probably the most important part of the trailer besides the framing, right? So get some good quality trailer tires. Pay for the upgraded tires, whatever you got to do. So to go full circle, that 6.5x12 trailer, it was great on the width, but it was horrible on the length. And here's why. I was limited with how many mowers I could put on that trailer. Unfortunately, I could only put one mower on there, one 0-turn mower. And then at best, my little 33-inch Metro walk behind that I had way back in the day. And those were my gated backyards when I did gated backyards. But we couldn't put a stander on there. We couldn't put a 48-inch sideways. We couldn't put 2 0-turn mowers on there. No way, no how. So my biggest rule of thumb, my biggest encouragement to people maybe listening in and looking at trailers, you got kind of two options in my eyes. Get the 5x8 or the little 6x10. That's your single mower, single, little utility trailer, single axle or, double axle, tandem axle. Or go to the full end of the spectrum and get the 7x14, 7x16, 7x18 foot trailer. Because begin with the end in mind is what we always say, and always look for room to grow. Always buy equipment that you can grow into it and expand into, right? So if you get that little 6.5x12 or 6x10, you're only going to be able to put one mower on there. If you get a 7x14, 7x16, you're going to be able to grow it and put 2 0-turn mowers on there, or maybe a mower and an aerator, or maybe a lawnmower that has a dethatcher, the tines on the front, little attachment from like detached manufacturing, whatever, and a bagger, right? So always think expansion in mind. So if you just look at a little 5x8, well, it's not wide enough to put a bagger on that 0-turn, right? It's for the auger, the impeller on the side for the leaf blower. It's not maybe as long enough when you add a 3-foot bagging system to the back. So always think about expansion in mind. I'll tell you guys honestly, I'm such a nerd with this stuff. I've taken tape measures to my dealer on the showroom floor and said, I walk in there and say, hey, do you mind if I just measure this setup? Can I just measure the width and the length? And they're like, dude, whatever. And I've had my dealer pull a 0-turn mower with a bagger and a 48-inch walk behind or the 48-on stand-on aerator outside and measured the whole length. I ran a tape measure down the whole length of it, realized that it was 16.5 feet, and I'm like, okay, an 18-foot trailer will do. I would do this stuff. I mean, I'm that guy. I'm the nerd. I'm like, yo, I want to make sure that if I'm dropping money, that how much is the width? How much is the depth? How much is the length? How much does it weigh? How much I'm buying another utility trailer right now. And all day long, I'm like, how much is a Kubota tractor weigh? How much what's the wheelbase length? Do I need to get a trailer ramp? Do I need to reinforce the trailer ramp? Do I need to get the metal stilts that can support the tractor going up the trailer? All these different things take some time, do some research, and it's okay if you go bug your dealer. They're not going to care. They're going to be like, hey, sure, dude, come on up. We'll take care of you. And that's called building a relationship with your dealer, trailer dealer or your equipment dealer. So here's what I'll just say. When you buy a utility trailer, think about expansion. The most common utility trailer I've noticed is usually a 7.5 by 14 or a 7.5 by 16. And the reason is you can get mowers on there. You can get you can lay a tarp up front with a bunch of fill dirt. You can lay mulch in the back or vice versa. You can put the dirt in the back and the mulch up front, and you're able to get 4 or 5 yards on a utility trailer. Another yard of dirt if you happen to do some landscaping. You can get a pallet of bricks. Just make sure you guys check the weight. But begin with the end in mind and always think expansion, whether it's utility or enclosed. All right, let's keep it going. So we talked about pricing. We talked about sizing. The next thing I want to talk about, and we'll get into some sizes again here in a minute. I got some other stuff I want to talk about when you're considering your equipment setup. But the next thing that a lot of folks weigh in with utility versus enclosed is signage and advertising and marketing. For me personally, make no mistake about it, having my enclosed trailer is probably the thing that has made my phone ring the most out of any other thing that we've ever done marketing wise. Yard signs, postcards, I'd say maybe other than my Google My Business listing. And here's why. That enclosed trailer is literally a rolling billboard around town. I mean, it's like those LED billboard trucks, nowadays. What a cool business model that is. Like you can hire an LED billboard to go around town for $400 for the day. I just think it's fun. Like I might just do that and when it comes to election season about my governor and just have a fun message on there. I don't know, just having fun. But for an enclosed trailer, if you want to talk numbers and budget for signage versus a wrap, pretty common question out there, you can budget anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 for vinyl signage on an enclosed trailer. Now, the variable is going to be the length, the width, and how much surface area you're trying to cover with vinyl. You're basically paying for the vinyl, the labor, the time, and the expertise to put it on, right? So our trailer is 8.5 by 16, and to have the long lettered Brian's Lawn Maintenance on the one side with our name and phone number and all that mess. On the back, we have the huge logo with our name and number and all that mess. And then the other side, we have the crest again with Brian's Lawn Maintenance. Ours was $2,000, and I said, hey, do you guys do a cash discount? And they said, we sure do. And I said, well, I got cash. And so we were able to, that's called unfiltered right there. We were able to knock that down to $1,600, and they wrote us a receipt and we were good to go. And so just so if you guys are looking at enclosed trailers, don't just budget the 5, 7, 10 grand for the enclosed trailer. Budget also the, $1,500 to $2,000 to $2,500 for the signage. Now, really quick here, if you want to talk about trailer wraps, I haven't wrapped a trailer. I think it's a little much. I like the branding aspect of it. If you're a bigger company and maybe you got the cash flow and the payroll to do it. I just like the simplicity of trailer signage. There's an episode we did talking about trailers that we did a few episodes back. I'll try to see if we can plug it in the show notes. But I said, when it comes to marketing on your vehicles and your trailers, less is more. So simple is clean. Simple is the best way to go. I'm not saying you can't do a full trailer wrap and have like a huge hardscaping or landscaping patio or a photo of you and your guys mowing some grass. Like that's really, really cool. A good wrap like that's going to cost you $3,000-$4,000. Same thing on a box truck. But what I will say is if you look at the biggest companies, the Brylars, the Brickviews, the Brightviews, the Brickmans, help me out, United, all these bigger companies, usually it's just the logo, like painted on, with a vinyl sticker, obviously. It's just usually the logo in the middle of the enclosed trailer wall. The front, the side, the backs, very, very simple, very, very clean. So like Brylar will just have a white trailer and they'll have their little green and yellow, blue B in Brylar. Brickman, they just got the, they usually do a custom color for their trailer, but they just do the dark brown Brickman with the little leaf or whatever it is. Brightview, same thing. They just do the blue B and then it says, right view. And so that's what I've known. United, same thing. They got the black and orange, whatever it is, like United, little logo. Very, very simple. And so I like that. I like that a lot. For my trailer, I wanted a little bit more loud because it's red and black. But if I had a white trailer, I would do very, very minimal, very, very simple logo. And by the way, saves them a gob of money too. I mean, just to have a logo on there, $200 to $400. To get vinyl all over the place, like I said, about $2,000, and to wrap it, about $3,000 to $5,000. So when you talk about looking to expand your business and market, an enclosed trailer, to me, I don't have like a perfect split here, like 50-50 or 60-40 about which trailer I like the most, because they both have their pros and cons. But I do like enclosed trailers overall because it can keep my equipment safe, and the marketing aspect of it. That's just my opinion. You can't be an enclosed trailer when it comes to marketing and advertising, because we get calls all day long. Hey, I saw your trailer at the gas station. Hey, I saw you guys around town. Hey, I saw you do my neighbor. And when you have a utility trailer parked out front of a lawn that you're doing, unless you have signage on the side, it's really hard for that customer or the neighbor to peek out the front bay window and say, what trailer company is that? Or what lawn care company is that? Unless you have logos on your truck, and even then it's going to be a little hard to see. The rule of thumb I always say is, can you read it from 50 feet away? Can you read it from 75 feet away? Because that's usually the length from the curb to the window of your neighbor or your customer. So when they look out the front window, you want it to say, TV landscaping, Premier living, Premier outdoor living, Brian's All Maintenance, Bedell Property Management, like big logos, simple logos, clean logos that they can see 75 feet away. And when you have a huge trailer wrap, sometimes it's a little busy. Sometimes it's a little distracting, because what they're looking at is like, oh, look at that photo of the landscaping. Look at all these services they offer. And before you even know it, the trailer's driving by in the subdivision, and they don't even capture the name off the trailer because they're busy looking at 5 other things. And again, not an indictment if you have your trailer wrapped. I love trailer wraps. I think they're beautiful. But for me, less is more. And this is what I've just seen the big guys do, and what works around our neck of the woods. So let's do this. I want to maybe talk a little bit more about accessories on trailers here in just a second. I'm going to wrap up this thought here before we go to a quick break and talk about signage on utility trailers, because you can put signage on utility trailer ramps. That was something that opened doors for us again. And, when you're around town, somebody's always behind you at the stoplight, following you around town with traffic. Or if you have your trailer ramp up after you're done using the lawnmower on a customer's property, right? And you're just grabbing the trailers and the blower, or the trimmers and the blowers. If you got that trailer ramp up, first off, it's going to be a lot harder for somebody to steal your lawnmower. Just a little tip there. But number two, if somebody is driving into the subdivision, or they're driving out of the subdivision, they can just hold their phone out the window, or and snap a photo of your trailer ramp signage. And I'm surprised at how few people actually put a signage on their utility trailer. $200 to $400, and you got a great quality sign. Some guys do metal. I've seen people do vinyl signs, that flap in the wind and they just tie rope. A dye bond material is usually what a lot of folks go with. That's that hard plastic that is like a flex sign, and get a couple carriage bolts, measure from the inside, put those bolts in first, and then do the outside bolts on the trailer ramp. Little tip there. If you do the 4-corner thing, and you already pre-drill your holes, by the time you zip down 3 of them, your last hole is going to be off by 3 or 4 millimeters, and it's going to bow the sign. So always start with the bolts on the inside, two pieces of frame, and then work your way out. Little tip there, because I had to buy another sign, because after like a year slamming that trailer ramp up and down, it just cracked all the welds. Or not cracked the welds, but cracked the sign, and it was splintering all over. It looked like crap. And so we had to buy another one for $200 to $400. Another quick little pro tip: consider putting like half-inch wide washers, or 1-inch wide washers on the signage. It's a little bit more spot for it to grab onto, and I've just realized it helps with not having the sign crack as much if you just have like little 1/4-inch carriage bolts. So little extra tip there. So hopefully that helps you guys out. So let's do this. I'm just got my little phone here, my little list of stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about accessories for a few minutes. I'm going to take the good old sip of water here, and then let's come on back and just wrap this thing up for another 10 minutes here. I already broke my rule of keeping this under a half hour, but no shocker there. So let's do this. Let's come back in just a quick minute, talk about accessories. I got some great ideas here that I think will help you guys when you buy your next trailer. Things to look out for, good and bad, and some things that can really make your business and your life that much easier when talking trailers. So let's kick it over to Marty, Mr. Producer, bring you guys the show announcements and sponsors one more time, and then we're going to come right on back.
Ratings and reviews. Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
My apologies. The 5-star reviews have just been backing up for some time. Let's knock some of these out. Seth 2027 writes, great job. I am a fellow Michigander. Did I say that correctly? A fellow Michigander who transplanted to Atlanta, then to Utah. And I'm starting my lawn care company. Each episode is inspiring both for business and personal life. Keep up the good work. Pepper Breath. Okay, I'm not going to ask. Writes, amazing. I have been looking to start my own lawn care company, and this podcast has a lot of information that has definitely helped me head in the right direction. Now, Trilogy Furt out of Midland, Texas actually one-ups Pepper Breath as he titles his review, Absolutely Amazing. I have been looking for a solid podcast in the lawn and landscape industry. I have finally found it. Keep it up, Brian and Mr. Producer. We always love the Mr. Producer shout outs as well. Thank you from your friends in Texas. And certainly Brian and myself praying for all of our friends there in the Lone Star State, just digging out after that crazy weather. BuzzCuts Services gives it a 10. Great information as always. Happy that it's coming from a local Michigan guy. Keep the podcast coming. And Steve with Versailles, or Versailles maybe a silent S, sort of a French pronunciation. We're going to go with that. Steve with Versailles Lawn Care out of Versailles, Kentucky. I think that's about 10 minutes outside of Lexington. Loving the off-season topics is how he titles his review. Thanks, Brian, for the creative topics that you were putting out during the off-season. Your stories and point of view on non-lawn care topics are awesome. No matter what episode I listen to, I can find something relatable and put it into practice. Hey guys, would you please take a moment and go to Apple Podcast, leave your 5-star review, and not only will I read it on a future show, but it helps others to see that they really should take the time to check out Brian's podcast, because not only will it show up as highly rated, but having so many reviews just provides that social proof. So help us out, bro.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
All right, good deal, guys. Well, we are going to talk about trailer accessories here for just a quick minute. And it's funny, down in Tampa, Florida, just a week and a half ago, yeah, we were all looking for water, and we had 2 24 packs of Ice Mountain water or whatever. And the whole house, because we're all podcasting, we're all doing videos, we're all, sipping on water. And Brittany Allman was getting pretty mad at us. She's like, every single water is only drank like a fourth of the way because people are just, sipping on it to keep their mouth moist or whatever. And she goes, everybody start putting your name on your waters. Because we went through literally 50 waters in 3 days. And every single water bottle around the house was only a quarter drink. And we literally had a cleanup party where every day we would tidy up the place so it didn't look like a total bachelor pad. But it was pretty funny because there's 30 water bottles always out and about. And everybody's like, hey, can I get a water? Because there's no more waters. And Brittany Allman was like, no, you got to drink your water here because this one's yours and this one's yours. And they're all a third drink. So anyway, a little fun there back from the Hype House. And by the way, that episode I did Sunday morning, I was tired. Mr. Producer was giving me some flack, I think, on the last episode. And I was laughing. And he's like, I don't know if Fullerton's just recuperating from the long week or what. But yeah, I was beat tired, man. We literally just went all out every single day. And so when I brought you that last episode, I might have been a little tired there, just to be transparent. But today I got a good 6 hours of sleep, so I'm ready to rock and roll, which is like a full sleep schedule for Fullerton because I don't sleep much. All right, so let's talk about a couple different things with accessories. I'm going to run through this really quick, and we'll button this thing up in a timely fashion. When you're looking at trailers, whether it's utility versus enclosed, suggestion number 1 I have is look at heavy-duty ramps or upgrading your ramp. whether it's a utility trailer or an enclosed trailer, sometimes you're able to add more hinges. Sometimes you're able to add more framing to the trailer ramp door, or ask them to do more welds, on the trailer ramp on the mesh. So usually the things that are going to fill the quickest on a trailer, besides the tires, are the RV style door and the trailer ramp door. So when you're looking at the trailer ramps, see if they can add an extra couple hinges. Like the SureTrack trailer we have, it has like 6 super heavy duty hinges, and that ramp door is not going anywhere. I'll tell you that. When you're talking about RV doors, see if they have an option to upgrade the hinges, maybe from like the little 2 flimsy ones that somebody can get through with a little disc grinder, battery powered disc grinder, angle grinder. See if they can do heavier duty hinges just for extra security, and then just to beefing up the door a little bit. Same thing with the lock mechanism on the RV style door. Sometimes they offer that extra little flange that like kind of drops down to lock the door, other than just the door handle lock. See if they can put that extra little metal bar that secures the door. That's what we have on ours. So not only does the RV door lock, but we can put a puck lock on the extra metal handle. And I'll tell you what, never trust the RV door lock. There's been, unfortunately, 4 or 5 times probably in the last 3 years with our enclosed trailer where we've had a customer or just some random person wave us down at a gas station, in the grocery store parking lot. Hey, your door's open, your door's open. And so we have a firm rule now where we lock the RV door with the little extra metal handle no matter what. I don't care if you're going 50 feet down to the next customer and you're in the subdivision. Always put the metal locking extra handle on the RV style door. A little fun tip there. Let me know if you guys have ever had that experience. We literally had it going down the road, pulling out of a gas station, and we had 3 cars say, your RV door is wide open. And we were waving to that. We were like, yeah, awesome. And we thought they were just like customers of ours or something like that, like fans cheering us on, whatever, because we're so dorks. And but literally, like, your RV door's open, and we literally had our hands out the window. Yeah, dude, it's a beautiful day. And they're like, no, your RV door is open. See, guys, if I can do it, you can do it. That's how I know that we're a miracle worker over here. So always lock your RV door as best you can, okay? But talk about extra heavy duty hinges and whatnot for the ramps. Number 2 is cabinets. Cabinets are huge. We get compliments all the time on our YouTube videos and people asking about, hey, love the cabinets. Where can I get them? That was a manufacturer, what do they call it? Option upgrade. So that was at the time of building the trailer. So the cabinets, I love them. Sometimes cabinets can be a little cheaply built. I've personally never had any issues with mine. I love ours with the nice red accent doors. They have a little clip, to lock the door, or unlock the door. They're pretty sweet. They might have been like $400, but definitely worth it for me with just keeping our trailer like partitioned and keeping things not out and about. I hate it when things are just out and about. Like, put it in a cabinet, right? My friend Bedell, Mike, he's got a great cabinet under the workbench in the front of his trailer. It's maybe 3 or 4 feet wide, has double doors, and it's got like the 80 little cubbies for irrigation parts. So it's got like little checkerboard, pocket system. And he showed it to me, and I'm like, well, what's all going to go in there? He goes, irrigation parts. And I went, oh. So he literally told me one day he spent like 4 hours with a little label gun, little label maker, and it's like 1/4-inch elbow, 1/4-inch clasp, 1/4-inch this, 1/4-inch flex pipe, 1/4-inch tubing, like, and then it's 3/8, and then it's 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch. And dude, he's got I don't know, $500 of irrigation parts in that little cabinet, and it's pretty sweet. Like versus the old school having the bucket, approach where you just have like a bucket full of irrigation heads, a bucket full. This is all 1/4-inch stuff, and this is all 1/2 inch stuff, and you got no inventory control. You have no idea how many clasps you have left, how many elbows you have left. So a lot of you guys that do irrigation, consider cabinets. I've also seen people put cabinets on the side walls of an enclosed trailer. Another great option there. So same thing, you can put all your lubes and oils, super popular option. So cabinets are a great way to do that. By the way, if your trailer doesn't come with cabinets, you can go to Lowe's and Home Depot, go get some Craftsman cabinets for, $100, put them together, and then just bolt it to the wall of your trailer. Like super simple stuff. Just to get things off the floor, off the workbench, just to make it a little bit organized. That way, when you do hit a pothole or you hit a cul-de-sac curb, you don't have your stuff rolling all over the place and knocking into things and spray paint cans bursting open. Dude, we've seen it all. So you can tell this is the first person experience. All right, let's keep it going. I talked about the beefier hinges, a transition ramp. Transition ramps are awesome for enclosed trailers when they work. I'm actually ripping ours out because it doesn't work. My mower, just to flip open the transition ramp every time, it's annoying. Nobody does it. I don't do it. And then when you roll the mower in there, the deck bolt, blade bolt always catches, rips up the transition flap. And I get the idea behind it, but if there was a way that it was a little bit more automated, like it was cabled to the ramp, or maybe it was more structured to where it was bolted onto the trailer ramp, and somehow by dropping that down, it would automatically open up on the other part of the main part of the trailer. Awesome. Transition ramps are a great option. But guys, I'm the owner operator and I don't even flip ours open every time because it's annoying and it weighs a lot. So those are great options to get. Also, maybe a great option to have it deleted off of your purchase order. So little tip there. I'll let you guys decide that. Another one I wrote down here was the side refuel door. Great accessory option if your trailer brand offers that. Obviously talking enclosed trailer. I think my boy Alex Nickens has one on his red enclosed trailer. And I was like, dude, that is the coolest thing ever. And so what I'm talking about is a little like 18-inch by 18-inch door that has a little hinge, opens up. And that way, when you park your enclosed trailer at the gas station, you can just feed the gas pump nozzle and hose through that door and fill up both of your lawnmowers. How cool is that? That way, you don't have to pull all the lawnmowers out of an enclosed trailer. By the way, that's a huge con for enclosed trailers. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. It's not even funny because you have to find not only where you can park the trailer, but then you have to pull the mowers around, and usually, at the other side of the pump, and you're taking up 2 lanes, and everybody hates you when you're refueling at 5 o'clock because it's rush hour, and you guys know how that goes. So that's a great perk for a utility trailer, an open trailer, because you don't have to worry about that. And you can park right side or left side. But if you get an enclosed trailer, see if your trailer brand offers that little side door, that little pocket door. Usually, I've noticed those are for four-wheeler trailers, ATV trailers, and also for car hauler trailers and for snowmobile trailers. So if your trailer brand makes those other trailers anyway, be like, hey, how much does it cost to put a little pocket door in here? Something that you might want to look at. We got lights. This is a really popular one. Inside dome lights. I've seen some folks with their utility trailers and they don't even have dome lights. And they're like, how do you work inside your trailer? I'm like, I work in my trailer until like 10, 11 o'clock all the time. Sharpening blades, changing blades out, scraping the deck. Sometimes that stuff happens at 9, 10 p.m. at night. Sometimes it makes it on YouTube, sometimes it doesn't, but or 6 a.m., right? Before we go on out there, I want to change the blades and, maybe it's cold or raining or something like that. Working inside your little shop of an enclosed trailer, huge. Also, one that's kind of overlooked sometimes is having lighting on the outside of your trailer. This is more popular like if you have a longer trailer, utility or enclosed. If you have something that's over, 14, 16 feet, ask and see for pennies on the dollar if they can add more lighting halfway through the trailer. So on the trim of the trailer, whether it's on the ground or an enclosed trailer, also up top. And why is that? Well, when you're pulling those trailers out of your storage lockers and your shops and your yards at 6 a.m. and it's dark, and you got cars racing around because everybody's rushing to go to work. Well, you're pulling an 18-foot out trailer. It might have the 4 lights on the 4 corners of that sidewall, but you pulling out a 20, 22, 24-foot long trailer, people might not even see that. And you're like, dude, it's a 24-foot long white trailer. How do people miss it? They do. You guys know that. See if your trailer manufacturer can install some extra like of those orange, amber, just like little extra DOT type lights, halfway through the trailer. If you got anything longer than 16 feet, enclosed or utility, I would highly encourage that. We have LEDs on all the corners of our trailer, on the back. SureTrack really does a really good job with that. Also, talking about lighting, upgrade to LED if you can. They're brighter, they're more visible, less likely for a burnout versus like just the bulb style lighting. Most trailers nowadays are doing LED. So little ideas there if you're kind of taking notes, maybe you're putting your custom order together. Just some things that we've thought about along the way. Another one is side air vents. Side air vents are, you can't have enough of them, to be honest with you. They're awesome. Usually that's going to be a manufacturer install because they're going to be cutting through the frame of the trailer and the whole wall. But having them up in the front and then also having two in the back to have that breeze, that blowing through, that cross breeze, huge. I mean, you guys down south know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys install air conditioners, on your trailers, which I'm not going to talk about that at length right now because I haven't done it. But I have seen a lot of folks put air conditioning systems on their enclosed trailers because, let's be honest, it gets 100 degrees down south for months on end, and plus the humidity, right? So look at those as options, is to add more side vents. And that also parlays into talking about roof vents. Roof vents, a touchy subject for some people. Some people love them, some people hate them. My enclosed trailer, I didn't know otherwise, so we went with them. I like them. I've never really had any issues with mine, with the hinges or them breaking. We did have two completely get shattered off when we had a huge hailstorm about 2 years ago. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Literally looked like somebody took a shotgun to my two roof vents because they were like shot off. The only thing that was left was the little bracket where it attached to the metal for the little wheel thing that you got to like wind up to open it up. But the whole white, plastic, whatever it's called, it literally was disintegrated, shotgun. It looked like a bomb went off on the roof of my trailer for both of the vents. Well, if you have enclosed trailers with vents and you're going through subdivisions, trees and branches, so that might be something to think about with having those deleted or removed. I know some guys, they don't have any enclosed trailers with any of the roof vents. They just stick to the side vents. The trade-off, less airflow, right? It's not going to keep your equipment as cool. But if you're doing landscaping or you're taking, fertilizer machines around and you don't need that ventilation as much, then you're probably good to go. For me personally, I like the roof vents. I like all the airflow I can get, keep the equipment cool, and keep those mowers running as cool as possible. Let's see what else we got. Fuel tank. Fuel tank's a cool option. We haven't done anything like that, but I've seen other enclosed trailer setups on YouTube. Actually, I've liked the Bralars, the BrightViews, the Brickmans, and man, sometimes they get these like 8.5 by 24 foot long trailers, and dude, they're Mac Daddy trailers. They're like all in, right? Obviously. And they've got, 20, 30, 50 gallon fuel tanks up there with the pump, and, they can refuel their mowers like on site when they're doing some, massive mall that they're at for 8 hours for the whole day. They never have to leave the job site. I think that's awesome. It's a little above my pay grade and our need because, usually our mowers last all day and we fuel up always end of day. But if you want to go that option, look at adding a fuel tank and a fuel door to your enclosed trailer up front. I just think that's awesome. That's just screams conveniency to me. Convenient. So let's talk about another thing is wiring it up for batteries. That's a new one here that I've seen Johnny Blades of Grass on YouTube do and talk about. If you are using a lot of battery equipment, whether it's your lawnmowers or your hand tools, believe it or not, a lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are going green. They like the quietness. The performance can be there for some of the equipment. You got HOAs, condos, apartment complexes, and you can use battery stuff in the morning or even all day, obviously, and it's just quieter. That's a great option. So if you're getting your next enclosed trailer, consider having a plug part of the trailer wall, something that you can plug into externally, huge extension cord, and then that cord plugs into the wall of the trailer, and there's a little bracket or there's a little plug system on the inside where you can plug all your batteries into for your DeWalt, Milwaukee, Husqvarna, Steel, battery-powered equipment. I think that's literally awesome. I've seen a couple people start to do that. I guess you could also throw solar panels in there. I've seen a lot of folks start to utilize solar panels, air conditioning, microwaves. If you guys want microwaves in the trailer. Caleb Allman did a great trailer setup video for his hardscaper. They have a folding table that they put behind one of their shelving units, and that way they can set up folding chairs and a folding table to do a little makeshift lunch. All great options. Like, keep that stuff in the enclosed trailer. Why not? And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, which we get a lot of questions about, is the spare tire mount. Whether that's utility trailer or an enclosed trailer, having that spare tire mount, and here's a tip, having a spare tire on there. Guys, if you get a spare tire, you have no other priority, in my opinion, than by the end of the day, getting that tire fixed and replaced by Discount or Bell Tire or whatever your place is, and getting that spare tire back on the spare tire rack holder. Because I'm telling you, like, I've seen people getting flat tires, and then they don't get the tire fixed and changed out for 2-3 weeks because it's sitting in the bed of their truck. and then they get another spare or another flat tire, and now you're totally screwed, right? So if we have a rule, if we get a flat tire, at the end of the day, immediately we're going up to discount or Bell Tire, and we're getting that fixed. So whether you have a utility trailer or an enclosed trailer, you can get a spare tire mount holder for, $50, $100, $200, and then get a spare rim and tire, for another $200-$300. Lifesaver, guys. Lifesaver. By the way, little 1-2 punch here for the spare tire rack holder is the Trailer Aid Plus spare tire changing system. So it's just a yellow plastic ramp that you wedge in between your, utility trailer tires or your enclosed trailer tires, and it just rides up the little ramp. It suspends the second tire. So, obviously back up on it if you need to, elevate the front tire. But dude, get little battery powered impact, zip those things off. You can change out a spare tire in honestly 10 minutes. I know how to do it. My guys know how to do it. No longer do you have to have a flat tire take out 4 or 5 hours of your day, or get the slime and get the plugs and all that stupid stuff, right? Get the little Trailer Aid Plus. We have that link in our Amazon store on all the YouTube videos. It's $42. It's $45. It is the best money you could ever spend for our industry, enclosed trailer or utility trailer. Have one of those on you at all times. If you have an enclosed trailer, put it in the cabinets, put it on the wall. They got a little bracket holder, little upsell there, part of the Amazon, frequently bought together, right? I bought it. It was a little metal holder. It was like $10, right? And if you have a utility trailer, well, just keep it on the floorboards of your truck or keep it under the seats or whatever you do. They might even have a utility trailer little bracket that you can put that on, because you don't want somebody to just walk by and yank that thing for $40. But they're awesome. They're a B&B Lawn Care. I think B&B Lawn Care is Latin for always having a flat tire. And I bought one for him. I just sent it to his house. The 19th time he had a flat trailer tire. B&B, he needs wheels on every tire because that kid goes through a lot of tires. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for him on that. Just having some fun here. But I saw him on Instagram again have another trailer tire that went flat. And he's like, man, this is going to cost us 3 hours because we can't get the tire off because we don't have the jack. We don't have a jack, because who carries a jack with them all the time? So I said, dude, you need a Trailer Aid. He goes, I heard you talk about that last year and 3 other times. He goes, I need to buy one. I went on Amazon. I just drop shipped it to him. It was $40. I was like, what's your address? So I sent it to his house and he's like, and I think they've already used it once. Go figure. So I swear by those. By the way, another great thing to look at, we have in our YouTube descriptions. I'm just trying to help you guys out. These are things that have made my life, my business easier. I'm not trying to make $1 on you buying them on Amazon. I literally couldn't care less. I don't want to see you guys lose half the day of productivity and only do $200 of mowing when you had $600 on the schedule, because of something as stupid as a flat tire. So the Ares or Ares, ARES, long utility impacts, the sockets, you have to have the long ones to get into that trailer well with your battery powered impact. They're clutch. It's $22 for the set, little black sockets, the impact sockets. You guys know what I'm talking about. Whether you get a 1/2 inch or 3/8, just figure out which, your battery powered impact has. I think ours is the 1/2 inch impacts, but that little extender piece that's 3 inches, your regular impact socket sets will not work. You're like, oh, I got a socket set. Well, don't use regular sockets on an impact. They're not designed for that. So the steel, the chrome looking, shiny versus the black, get an impact socket kit. But number two, when you're using an impact on your lawnmower and you're using the little snubs, those aren't going to work on the trailer tire wheel wells, enclosed or utility, right? So not to beat a dead horse, but get that little Ares kit. I plug it 3-4 times a year, not to make 38 cents on it on an Amazon link, but dude, I was there. We would be using jacks, and the jacks were heavy, and then the jacks would roll around, and they just bang into things. So I'm like, well, we can't have these automotive jacks rolling around. You put them in the little plastic carry cases, but those always shatter, and they get brittle because they get weathered and hot and cold in the trailer still. And I was like, well, there's got to be a better way. And Sue Kelly and Sons Trailer, which is our trailer dealer over in Carlton, Michigan, great people there. If you ever need a trailer, call them. They've sold trailers to a bunch of you guys within an 8-hour radius. They're down here in by Monroe, Michigan. They said, why don't you just get one of these trailer? I think she might have even gave it to me because I bought a $10,000 to $12,000 trailer. She's like, here, just have this. And it was $42. I'm like, oh, you shouldn't have. But we've used it a 6 times, and it's just such a rescue, so you're not having this deflated morning. Now when we get a trailer flat tire, I'm like, dude, no big deal, man. We're back in business. You know, it takes us 10 minutes and we're off to the races. And sometimes I'll even have my wife will come up, grab the tire, put it in the trunk, take it to discount, because she knows, like, we don't deal with flat tires. Like, that tire's changed same day. And so usually I have my wife, I've had my mom come up and grab it from me. I'm like, hey, you around town? Because, you know, they're 7 minutes away from our route. And they're like, yeah. I'm like, why? What's up? I'm like, can you just drop this off at a discount? And go figure, one of our accounts is a discount tire. So when I drop that, I call them up. I say, hey, Will, can you just change this out really quick? One of the managers, he's like, yeah, dude, I gotcha. And we get that fixed in an hour, you know, and kind of jumped the line there a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But all right, so that's my 25-minute episode about everything enclosed trailers and utility trailers. Last thing I'll say is, when you're buying your trailers, think about expansion in mind. The one thing I wanted to talk about was the baggers, just to wrap this up with a little bow, is if you get a little 5x8, 6x8, 6x10 utility trailer, or a little 5x10, 6x10 enclosed trailer, if you ever plan to expand into leaf cleanups, that's my biggest thing that I always notice people bottleneck. Try to get the larger trailer that's a little bit wider, usually 7 foot, 7.5 foot. That way you can put the bagger system on your lawnmower. So for instance, a 7x14 trailer is a great, next level up from a utility trailer, but not quite like that 8.5x16, 8.5x20 trailer. That would be a great option, the 7x14. Just take a measuring tape to your dealer and go measure out the mower that you have, or the mower of choice, or like that perfect setup, or your next setup, and see how wide that mower deck is, 60 inches. And then usually the impeller blower for any bagger is usually 10 to 12 inches. So if you had a 60-inch wide deck, which is 5 feet, and then you add another 12 inches, you're at 6 feet wide, right? So a 5 or 6 foot or 6.5 foot trailer, whether it's utility or enclosed, might not be the best route, right? Because the deck is 60 inches, so usually it's 61 with the side skirts and the framing. But then also there's a bar that usually wraps around most impellers for that blower, so you're really at 13 inches. So if you're at 63 inches and you're like, oh, dude, I bought a 6.5, 5.5 or a 6.5, foot wide trailer, you might already be scraping that thing right into there, and it might not fit. And there's nothing worse than, I'm sure somebody's done that out there, unfortunately, buying I got a 7x14 trailer, and, you can't put your bagger system in there. So, and that's not the end of the world either, by the way, not to, crush anybody, but that's not the end of the world either, because, okay, so you got to take off the tube and you got to take off the impeller. No big deal. I know hundreds of people that do that, friends of mine that do that, until you can spend that 7, 10, 12 grand on that 8.5x16, 8.5x20 trailer setup. So that's usually the reason a lot of guys go with the 8.5 foot wide trailers, is because you can ride a mower in there, have a bagger on there, and still have a little bit of wiggle rooms where you can walk around that stuff. I like the space. I like the 8.5x16, 8.5x20 type of trailer setup. So one last thing I'll say too, when you're talking about the length of the trailer, is consider what kind of properties and what kind of subdivisions you're in and where you're at. For example, anything longer than 16 to 20 feet is going to be really hard to maneuver in subdivisions. I know a lot of you guys have subdivisions, or like down in Florida, Georgia, and there's just not as much spacing in between driveways or around cul-de-sacs. So if you have an 8.5x24, and then you have a super crew cab truck that's a short bed or a long bed, this trailer setup is going to be 40, 50 feet long. And the ability for you to park it in a subdivision is going to be extremely limited. And that's not a bad thing. It's not the end of the world either. You're like, well, we need to put 3 mowers in there, so we need a 24-foot long trailer. Awesome. I'm not saying don't get it. I'm just saying if you're pulling up to a hospital, an industrial park, there's only going to be limited spacing where you can put these larger trailers. I've personally looked at a lot of setups out there, and I think the most common enclosed trailer setup after a 7x14, because that's usually the next step up, because it's $5 grand versus 10 grand for the bigger trailers. So a lot of guys run 7x14, 7x16s. But if you do go all in and you get that 8-foot trailer, I think the most popular size I've noticed is 8.5x18 and 8.5x20. Again, if you go longer than 20, you're not going to be able to park it in so many places. It's going to be a pretty long trailer. I have the 8.5 by 16, but we were never going to put more than 2 units in our trailer, and it's worked just fine for me. I kind of got lucky, to be honest with you, because I was like, well, I don't want an 18-footer. I don't want a 20-footer. Because my trailer and my truck setup is like 30, 40 feet long, and I'm in subdivisions all day. So I wanted that compact footprint, right? So we've never really been bottlenecked with anything on the 8.5 by 16. I can fit 2 units in there. So that's just the word of wise. If you're putting more than that in there, let's say you have 3 mowers you're trying to expand with and run your business with, and you're about to buy that new enclosed trailer. Take your mowers. I know it sounds dorky, but take your 3 mowers, line them all up, back to back, the front to back, the front to back, and take a tape measure under there and slide them all the way underneath the deck, all the way underneath lengthwise, and measure that thing out and put little chalk lines, on some property that you do, like in the road, and just measure that out and be like, okay, from here to here, it's, 21 feet long. All right. Well, at least now you know that an 8.5 by 20 is not going to be your perfect setup, right? And then think about folding up the platforms if you got standers, thinking about turning mowers sideways. Think about having baggers on there. A bagger system is usually about 24 inches to 30 inches long, on the back. Dude, I've measured all this stuff out. So anyway, do your homework is what I'm trying to say. And then the last thing I'll say, one other note here that I just wrote down as I'm thinking out loud is look at trailer height. See if you can expand the roof, 6 inches. I think ours is like 6 foot, 6 inches. Don't get any of the 6 foot roofs. Try to get the expanded roof if you're, you don't want to be crunching in there like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, going in and out of your trailer, right? Or banging your ROPS bars when they're up on those shorter roofs. And I've done that, man. We've popped a wheelie, bringing a mower into a trailer once. I'm not gonna say what brand because the ROPS sat a little, like just 1 inch high, and it clipped the roof. And dude, when you're looking at the sun, from the seat, because you're looking straight up in the sky, that I thought I was on the space shuttle ready for launch. That freaked me out. So look at the expanded roof. And then one other thing I'll say is the axles. This is something that I think is a little foresight. Or not foresight. This is something I wish I would have done a while ago was expanding the axles on my trailers. I would have got the heavier duty axles. I think we have 2 of the 3,500 pound axles. Looking at it now and knowing what I know now, if it's an option, I would have got the 2 5,000 pound axles, because you add that up, that's 10,000 pounds of what do they call it? Gross vehicle weight rating, the GVWR. But your trailer is going to weigh 3,000 pounds. So you really only got 7,000 pounds to work with or whatever. Well, each mower is, 1,500 pounds. And let's just do simple math. If the trailer is 3,500 pounds and you have 2 mowers on there for 3,000, you're at 6,500 pounds. And if you've got dual 3,500 pound axles that tops out at 7,000 pounds, that doesn't count your hand tools, your leaf blowers, your trailer racks, your cans of oil. Filling up 4 or 5 fuel tanks of gas, you're already gonna get to that 7,000 pound. And you're gonna overweight those trailers axles, and you're gonna start bending axles, and that's or riding the inside wall of those tires and going through tires like crazy. And that's just one of those things where if you're getting if you're going all in on a trailer, spend the extra $400 or $500, $1,000 on the heavier duty axles. Your pocketbook will thank you later, and that's coming from firsthand experience. We've already bent 2 axles. I replaced 2 of them. It was $1,200. I'm not even going to get into it. I don't think I really bent the axles. I think they sucked. But I really wish I would have got the 5,000 pound axles looking back on it. I think Bedell upgraded that on his trailer, and I'm like, dang, my next trailer definitely gonna have the 5,000 pound axles. Also, some guys get the heavier duty floor. That's another option to look at, having like 3/4 inch plywood versus like 1/2 inch plywood or whatever, or 1 inch thick plywood. Other options there. So, all right, you guys can tell that I can talk about this all day. I think we're right here at an hour, and this is my short 25-minute talk about open versus enclosed trailers. But hey, Marty, Mr. Producer, was giving me some crap on the last episode. He said I was low energy and it was a 25-minute in and out type of podcast. And I thought it was pretty good. I gave some good data there, some good info. But this is what happens when I got, 6 or 7 hours of sleep. I got some water in me and I'm feeling alive and in charge. And you know what? I'm ready to rock and roll, guys. You can tell that I'm getting more amped up. The season's getting ready. Can you guys do me a big favor? Can you guys, before we jump into the season, before we all get so busy, can you guys leave a quick rating and review for the podcast? We're almost to 1,000. We got a couple hundred to go. And it'd be just incredible to get to 1,000 ratings this summer. 5 stars. We don't read or take any of that nonsense of 1, 2, 3, and 4 stars. Who leaves a 4-star review? We had a 4-star review come in. I'm like, what? It couldn't just hurt you to just leave 5-star? You know, I had a customer review me in real life one time. She said 2-star. And I said, well, 2-star. And I came home to my wife. I've told this story before. I came home to my wife and I said, I got rated in real life today from this lady. She gave me a 2-star review. And Liz, with her infinite positive attitude, she goes, well, what was the rating system out of? 2 stars? I said, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10. But she goes, well, you're a 5-star in my book. And I'm like, oh, I love you, babe. So anyway, if you guys can, do me a big solid. We're going to jump into the season here. We're going to bring the podcast back to you Monday, Wednesday, Friday as we go through the season, March forward through November. We're super excited about that. We have so many great guests and interviews coming from the Hype House. We've been sandbagging those episodes. We've got guys like Caleb Allman, Andy Mulder, Josh Sutton, B&B Lawn Care, Spencer's Lawn Care, Paul Jamison. We have so many great podcast episodes and interviews that we're bringing out to you guys through March. We have other great guest interviews. We got Corey Ballard coming back to the show. So many other great folks. And it's going to be a barn burner, guys. So here's what I just asked you to do. Leave us a quick 5-star rating and review. And by the way, this podcast, it's grown into the top 50, top 100 in all business entrepreneurship organically. And that's because of you guys. You guys are sharing the podcast with your crew, with other lawn bros, and just sharing it on Facebook and Instagram, tagging us, sharing it on your stories. Guys, I don't know what else to say. I sincerely appreciate the support. It's super humbling, and thanks for letting me pour into your guys' life, 3 times a week. And hopefully this just gives you guys that motivation, that daily encouragement to, keep on keeping on and to just keep kicking butt and taking names. So without further ado, let's wrap it up right here. I'm going to pass it over to, as our friend Naylor and Paul say, the best producer in the biz, which I agree. Marty, Mr. Producer, is the best, and that's why we got him working on the best show. Amen. So Marty, take it away. Give these guys the rest of the show announcements, show updates, and highlights, and we'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Thank you, Brian. And I know that everybody is starting to spend a little money gearing up for the season. Who am I kidding? You're probably spending a lot of money. But one way to save a little is with all of the Brian's 10 partners that we work with. This is where you use the promo code Brian's10, Brian spelled with an I, Brian's10 at checkout to save anywhere from 10% to 10% and free shipping to $10. It's just crazy the amount of stuff that we've got going on. I think it might even work at Wendy's. In fact, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to pull through and give them a Brian's 10 discount code. The discount code, it works at Equipment Defender, Cujo Yardware, IsoTunes, Proven Locks, Darwin's Grip, Ballard-Inc.com, and so many other places. When you go to the show description for the podcast, just click on what's called the Linktree URL, Universal Resource Locator, to access many of these partners. And we truly have no better partner than our friend Michael Bedell, and we want to thank him for being a valued show sponsor.
Hey guys, Brian Fullerton here. You might have heard me talk about how I'm always looking to invest in myself and take my life and my business to the next level. In the past, I've taken my friend Mike Bedell out for steak dinners so I can pick his brain and gain some valuable insight on how to grow my business. Bedell is now offering his coaching calls over at his website, debtfreelandscaper.com. And honestly, they're a real bargain. Like half of what a couple of steaks for myself and Mike used to cost when we go out for those coaching dinners. Bedell has changed my business, changed my life, and that's why I'm happy to recommend him as a lucrative resource for you. Make this the year you invest in yourself. And of course, don't forget to use Brian's 10 to save 10% on all items at debtfreelandscaper.com.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.